Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I am Stan Shields, and I am here with Dr. Victoria Boyd. This is another edition of Systems Summits Live, and we welcome all the replay viewers for joining us.
Absolutely. Go on Facebook, go on YouTube, like, subscribe, love, give us a hug, do all of those wonderful things. We want to hear from you. Put some comments in there because we have some dynamic shows, and today is no exception. We are happy to be here.
All right, we are. Now, before we really dive into it, we are going to show a short little message here from our sponsors. And so we're going to dive into that for just a quick second, and then we're going to come back and introduce our guest for the day. I'm so excited to talk to this young lady. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, and Dr. Boyd, why don't you jump into it and tell us who is it that we're going to be talking to today?
Absolutely. We are going to be talking to one of our impact sponsors. She is what is called an impact speaker. That means she is supporting the Philanthropreneur Foundation, her company, Take Charge Credit Consulting. And we are so excited to have her because I don't know about you, I have had a hard time finding people in the financial area. Just,
Yes,
and when I met her, I got so excited and immediately asked her, so what is it that you do? Is it business related? And it was yes, 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 yes. And so we're really excited to have Tierra Bonds with us today. Caught you right in the middle of it. That's what we're doing for live. It's all on
it.
But good morning, Tierra. We are so excited, so proud that you felt our summit was worthy to become a impact sponsor, which means that you believe in our mission. And so I want to just, introduce you to our crowd. Why don't you just give us a little bit of your background, who you are, and what you do?
Awesome. First, thank you guys for having me. That was perfect timing, switching it over. Drinking your water. So I'm Tierra Bonds. I'm from Olympia, Washington, currently living in Seattle. And I started Take Charge Consulting 3 years ago, and it was built on personal experience. So as soon as I turned 18, my credit went downhill, and it continued to do so. About 5 years after that, I realized the importance of credit, and I struggled with finding help during that time. And so I created Take Charge Credit Consulting so that I could be that person for the people, in my network, family and friends. And since then, I've grown it. I've helped over 100 people reach their credit goals, whether that's buying their first home, starting a business, getting a new car. Right now, it's a lot of refis. So because of the low mortgage rates, people are looking for help with credit so that they can qualify for those. So I've been doing that for 3 years, and I love it.
All right. So what you're going to, and I always say it, in fact, I put it in an email that I sent out today that we're going to have all of these speakers do mic drops with nuggets.
Yes.
As we've been talking to our speakers, our international speakers, like you said, you're from Washington State. We have speakers from Florida, all the way across the country, even Spain. So you are in company with international industry experts on the summit, and they're all going to be presenting educational driven presentations. And, sometimes businesses, I hate to say it, forget about credit. It's like this afterthought, but I know that's going to be your topic and how you're going to get in there. But if you had to just talk about businesses and just credit, what would be top of your mind, number one area?
Yeah, when it comes to businesses, like you said, businesses, we tend to forget about credit when it comes to businesses. And when I started my business, I had no idea about business credit. So this is something that's different from your personal credit. It uses your EIN, which is basically your business's social security number. And I had no idea of that when starting my business. And I think it's a great tool to use because in entrepreneurship, one of the biggest things is lack of finances, lack of capital. And so business credit can help to provide for that. So I think just being aware of it and making sure you set up your company the right way so that you can qualify.
Awareness. Go ahead, Stan.
One of the things that I noticed when I was running my martial arts business, so I had that business for 15 years, and it was always a challenge to get credit. Even though I had an EIN number, I had a great record of paying bills on time and all of that, but it was still a challenge for a small business to be able to go out and get credit, right? With all of that. So have you had much experience with that, or any thoughts on that whole concept? What do they what else do they maybe have to do in order to get themselves into a position to be able to actually get that credit?
Totally. So whoever's watching, if you're attending the System Summit, this is what I'm going to go over. So you have to be there. But in short, it's, 3 important things that you need to make sure that you have set up. And the first thing is credibility, which in itself entails about 15 different things that you need to make sure you have correct for your business. Something as simple as having a correct email address rather than just tierrabonds@gmail.com. So having your company domain and your email address, little small things like that when it comes to credibility. And then the second thing is making sure you have vendor accounts that actually report to the business credit bureaus.
There you go.
Monthly.
I was given that tip by actually one of my clients, that there's a t-shirt company out there that if you just order a few t-shirts from them on a regular basis, it builds your credit. And because they report too. And so it's one of the vendors they recommend to build business credit, and you don't have to invest. I mean, you can always use t-shirts. Well, they do promotions, so it could be t-shirts or mugs or anything, but it's little things that you could actually afford to build that business credit because they report it to the business EIN or that connection.
I want to, before she says any more of them also, I want to go back and I want to just to restate what she said about having a business email address. That so many small businesses don't do that. They don't get that concept that they all want to have a Gmail address or a Yahoo address or whatever. And I said, but that's not a business email address. It makes you look small time. It doesn't.
I've been preaching that for years, especially in the nonprofit sector, that in order to, you need a website and that business email, and not just Facebook. I asked them, what is your online presence? Oh, we have a Facebook page. I said, no, what is your online presence?
Right. Well, it's Facebook page, it's LinkedIn. You get people that are, that they want to run their business 100% from there. Those are great tools to use in running your business, but those should not be your only online presence there, because you don't own that asset.
It's not yours. Yeah. I think you said great, Stan, small time. So when it comes to credibility with business credit, you want to make sure that you look legit. You don't want to look like small time, like you said. That was a perfect example.
Okay. That is fantastic. So now you're going to go through then, I guess, more of those kinds of tips through your presentation, right? For the summit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's a great reason. See, just even with those 2 things right there, those were huge little nuggets that, once again, dropping these great nuggets, right, for people, like right off the bat. Those are huge and very simple to actually do, right? It's simple to put those into play. one of the things from marketing yourself online is to get everything in alignment. So if it's your email and your address, your physical address, your your social media names and everything, so that it's consistent all across the board. All of those kinds of things all play into creating this presence that shows that you're a real entity out there and whatnot, right? So,
Exactly.
so now, what's your favorite part about the credit work you do? Because you do a lot of stuff here. I mean, I know that you've got the credit side of your business, but you also help small businesses with setting up their business in the first place. And somebody like you would be phenomenal with working with these, especially people who are brand new, that are starting out in business, and they're like, I don't know how to set up a business. Where do I start? I just like making cookies. I just want to make these cookies and sell them. And I don't care about business stuff, whatever. So you've got a lot of different things that you're doing, but what's your favorite? What is it that you love?
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. I think it would have to be in personal credit, the education of it.
Mm-hmm.
Getting someone's score to where they want it is great, and it makes me really happy. But what makes me even more happy is educating a client on something that they had no idea about, and that one little thing can help them not get in the position that they were when they first came to me. And so, and then they share that, with their kids, their family, their friends. So it's the education, I think, is the greatest.
So yes, she just touched on two of our themes, passion and purpose. Her passion is education, is educating them. Her purpose is to help people see and obtain better credit. Reason I'm so in tune to it, because I'm putting the introduction to passion, purpose, and profits for the summit, and I'm writing all of these tidbits, and I've started becoming very aware of what is a person's or a business owner's passion, and how are they transforming that into purpose. And you stated it perfectly right there. Passion is educating, and purpose is seeing your customers improve their credit or basically reach their full potential. So,
wow.
Love it. Profit.
All right, so I just wanted to take a quick second here and show Karen Joseph commented and said, great tips. And so thank you for watching, Karen. And, we appreciate the feedback on it. So very good. So let's take just a quick second here, because your focus for the summit is really, really around credit. But take just a second, though. We touched on it a second ago. You help people can establish their business. So tell us a little bit more about Take Charge and just some of the other things that you do, how you help small businesses.
Yes. So it originally started with just credit. And recently I added business consulting. So another thing that I'm super almost evenly passionate about is helping people start their businesses. So right now I have a series of workshops from business idea stage. So where you're developing a business idea, we validate it. And my workshops are different than a lot that I've attended. They're very hands-on, they're very interactive. So in that workshop, people leave with a validated business idea and the next steps to start their business. So from business idea all the way to actually launching their business. And in that process, of course, because business credit is important, and just credibility for your business in general, I make sure that all of those things are in place for my clients.
Wow, that's almost like a one-stop shop in terms of really for getting that business going and getting it off on the right foot, right? Because what happens so often, and I know I've been there, and lots of people do this probably, is that they've got this idea and really just start to run with this idea, but really don't put all the pieces in place for getting that business off on the right foot, right?
I agree. That was something that for me, I wanted it to be perfect when I started my business. I just wanted to make sure I had everything in line, and of course I didn't, but it slowed me down so much. It slowed me down so much trying to, so just being able to give that knowledge and those mistakes that I made and allow people to not make them makes me really, really happy. So.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the difference between an entrepreneur and a dreamer. An entrepreneur will step out there, even though it's not perfect, and just do it and take the risk and say, let's just see what happens. We'll see what falls in place.
Yeah.
So now, when you said that, it's funny because it reminded me of something I did at 10 years old, and it's really relevant to this. I remember growing up, you used to have these things called a swimming patch, right, at the swimming pool. And if you wanted to go to the pool without your parents, you had to be able to swim all the way across the pool, right, and to earn your patch. And of course, my motto that has always gotten me in trouble is, how hard can it be? So I jump off the deep end into the pool and I start trying to swim across to the other, and I can't. They had to fish me out of the water. But what did I do? I learned how to doggy paddle, and I doggy paddled all the way across the pool, right? But that's what entrepreneurs do, right? Yeah. It's, how hard can it be?
Let's just do it. Yeah.
Do it.
Let's just do it. That's probably when your parents knew that you were going to be an entrepreneur.
Oh, boy. Okay, so, all right, what would you say is your favorite credit tip? If you had one thing that you could boil it down to that you would share with people, what would that be?
So I have two. So we'll start with one for personal credit.
Okay.
Personal credit, the thing that really is hard for me is when I have a client come to me and they're looking to start services and they've just paid thousands of dollars in debt for collection accounts that are already on their credit report. So the responsible thing is, and if anyone doesn't know, a collection account is an account that went delinquent, and it usually gets reported to your credit report, which can bring your score down, up to 100 points. And so the reasonable idea would be to, let's pay off this debt and my score will go up. Unfortunately, that's not what happens, because when a collection account is already on your credit report, the damage is kind of already done. So whether the balance is $5,000 or zero, it's paid off in full. It's still a collection account, and it's still going to negatively impact your score. So the calls that I dread are when someone, like I said, just paid thousands of dollars in collection accounts. They're wondering why their score didn't go up, and then they hire me to get them removed. So my tip would be, if you do have a collection account on your credit report, the goal is to get it deleted. So, and paying it will keep your score the same. So if your goal is to increase your credit score, you don't want to pay collections that are on your report.
Wow. So really the best thing to do is to call you and talk to you about that then, really, before they take any action on it, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
And you can, the Fair Credit Reporting Act allows us as consumers to dispute anything on our credit report. So you can do it yourself. And since we're here, just another tip, but when you dispute online, the credit bureaus don't do a proper investigation. So typically it's going to stay on your report. So you got to make sure that you're disputing the right way.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It gets tricky, doesn't it?
It does. It's one of those things where, for me, it would be like doing my own oil change. I could learn it, I could do it, but it's just too much. Let's just pay someone who's already done 10 that day, It's something.
Well, I love that example, right? Because here's the thing. I'm one of those people that used to work on my cars all the time. I mean, I literally could get in there and I could change carburetors. I've done all kinds of stuff on the car. But then as I grew up and the cars became more and more advanced, I said, I remember at one point I went from my 66 Chevy to a brand new Honda Civic CRX, and I looked under the hood and I just closed it and I went, no, I'm taking it to the shop, right? Because I would have had to go buy brand new tools, right? And then I would have had to tinker around with it and try and figure out how to get to this piece that's way up under here that is hard to reach, right? So you don't have all the proper stuff to lift it up and look at it. And it's the exact same thing with what you're talking about right there. You can tinker around with it and play with it and try this and try that. But then you have a cost that comes along with the trial and error, because we're probably going to have a whole lot more error in that whole thing, right? So, call Tierra.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with starting a nonprofit. Yeah, people can go out there and do it. There's paperwork but I know what buttons not to check. And once your file goes into what is called the red flag cycle, it will take you 18 months to 24 months to get a nonprofit approved if you've checked one box wrong. So just ask me to do it. That's what I do.
I briefly looked into that, switching my LLC to a nonprofit. And this is something that I've learned a while ago. If it's not my expertise, I'm just not going to. So I'm like, okay, who can help me? Because this is not Dr. Boyd.
Wow. All right. So we cut you off after that one tip because it was such a bombshell of a tip. That was amazing. So what was the other tip?
In terms of business credit, I kind of talked about it earlier, but just setting up your business in the correct way so that you can get approved for business credit. And not only is it the credit that matters, but just being a legit business is really, really important. So, we don't want to deal with a business that, like Dr. Boyd said, only has a Facebook page. So just making sure that you set up your business in the right way and hiring help.
You have to think strategically. You have to really think strategically. There's a lot of that. Everybody says, "Oh, well, yeah, I have my LLC." Okay, but did you get your S corp? Did you file that one little form with IRS to make this LLC an S corp? It doesn't cost any more. It's just filing a form, but it takes your business to a whole nother level in terms of credibility and how you're viewed across so many different platforms. So, another mic drop.
Yeah. Totally. All right. So we are coming up close to our time here, but Tierra also has a nice giveaway. This is great. So I want to flash this on the screen here. So tell people, how do they get this free credit analysis?
Yeah, if you just text the word credit with your name and email address to the number on the screen, so 206-971-1269, then I'll get back to you. And the credit analysis is a document that I create. Depending on your credit report, it's typically about 13 to 18 pages with tons of valuable information on there. And it shows you every area of your credit report. So what's going well, where you can improve, and how you can improve. So super, super easy. This is typically $199, but if you text me, I can send it to you for free. Just for this.
Wow. That's amazing. All right. So good. Okay. So Tierra, thank you so much for coming on. I'm super excited about, I'm going to leave this up here for a minute so that, if anybody, as people are watching or whatever, they got time to capture it. But I'm super excited to see your full presentation in the System Summit. And so before we go, Dr. Boyd, I want to have you talk about System Summit. We didn't really do that in the beginning. So let's talk about System Summit and what it is and how do people find it and sign up and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. As founder of the Philanthropreneur Foundation, we have a brick and mortar training center. But with the pandemic, obviously, we needed to look at other strategies to help all of our clients and the community in general. System Summits is the answer. It is a quarterly virtual summit, January, April, July, October, for small businesses, micro businesses, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, those entities that have less than 5 employees. You might not even have a real employee, but you're doing all of these different things and trying to work and piece them together. So therefore, we help you with those systems and processes. You can register free right now. Registration is open at systemsummits.com. The header is our our website. Get a free registration, 48 hours of free access to all of the presentations. We do have upgrades where you can get lifetime access, and we have a journal. Please go to systemsummit.com. Journal. This is a full journal where you can take notes, not only during the summit, but at any business meeting that you have. Keep them organized and separated the way you need to. So systemsummit.com, register right now today and catch all of our international speakers.
All right. So catch Tierra. She's got more bombshells to drop. She's got more.
And make sure you bring on the brought to you by video.
Oh, I didn't play our brought to you by video. We played the sponsor video, didn't we? So
yes.
Let's do that then. Our brought to you by, where is that one? So hang on, let's do that.
System Summit Live brought to you by Marketing Automation Solutions Services, Webinar Secrets, and the Philanthropreneur Foundation. System Summit Live.
Oh, so we have, who else is on right here? We had, so Kimya came on and said, look, Tierra dropped great nuggets about credit repair and paying down debt. And she offered a freebie that you will want. Watch it to the end. Perfect. Great, Kimya. Thank you for coming on and commenting for us. All right. That is it for today. That is, again, exciting. This has been phenomenal. Can't wait to see the actual full presentation on it. And so if you've been watching, if you have not already liked, subscribed, or followed based on whatever platform you're watching on, please do that. We'd love for you to join us in the future at some of the future broadcasts. And we're going to actually have another one today where we will also interview 2 more of our speakers who are going to be in the System Summit. And I tell you, I am so pumped about the speakers and the quality of the speakers that we have. All of them they bring so much knowledge, so much information that it's just invaluable for the micro business community. So super exciting. All right, that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to end with our video. So hang on and we'll see you next time.